You can wear the most expensive clothes, fix your hair perfectly, and still walk into a room carrying an energy that begs to be noticed. When your hands fidget and your eyes dart around searching for approval, the clothes don't matter. Attraction begins with the mind. People spend hours trying to look flawless, while ignoring the bankrupt internal energy that actually dictates how they are perceived. The body betrays the truth, despite any outfit. Neediness has a posture, weakness has a sound. If your eyes search too much, if your voice over-explains, and if your smile acts as a plea for validation, everyone in the room feels the lack of substance. We hand over control far too easily. Someone gives a weird look and your mood drops. A stranger criticizes you and you scramble to defend yourself. This gives minor inconveniences permission to touch your inner world and drain your energy. People ignore those whose energy feels scattered and whose words carry no weight. They sense a lack of internal discipline, and that repulsion outweighs any physical trait. Building presence starts with defensive energy. You must stop the bleeding by creating mechanisms to protect your internal economy from external triggers and theft. The first habit is stopping your immediate reactions. When someone insults you, a disciplined mind creates a gap between the event and the response. Look at this diagram. That space, the pause, is where your power lives. You decide who you are. If you collapse that space and react instantly, you function like a puppet. Every spike signals your emotions are up for grabs. Words are a currency. When you constantly justify yourself to people who have already decided to misunderstand you, you aren't proving your value. You are lowering your price. Many people treat their mouth like an open market. They reveal every plan, gossip about every person, and speak just to fill the quiet. When you spend your words that carelessly, your presence becomes cheap. A truly attractive person treats words as sharp tools. Their silence isn't nervous, it has weight. When they do speak, it creates clarity, which is why people actually listen. Firm boundaries and selective silence act as a lock on your energy. You stop bleeding out into conversations that don't matter, and your presence shifts from common background noise to something rare. Once the leaks are plugged, you can shift to offensive energy, actively generating internal strength and magnetism. The hidden battleground is your attention. From the second you wake up, the modern world is engineered to consume your focus. Apps, advertisements, and algorithms feed you outrage and comparison until your inner world feels polluted. This creates an inability to sit quietly. Silence feels unbearable because it highlights unfinished work and insecurity. So people scroll more and consume more, creating a frantic energy that others find exhausting. Single-focus attention is the antidote. When you eat, you eat. When you work, you work. Committing fully to one action at a time pulls your scattered pieces back together and concentrates your personal energy. You also have to change how you handle discomfort. You don't train your body to chase a specific shape or beg for compliments. You train to ensure that laziness no longer owns the home your spirit lives in. If comfort becomes your master, your strength rots. You cannot collapse at the first sign of boredom or rejection and still expect a powerful life. That requires a nervous system that has been stress tested. This isn't about pretending things don't hurt. It is the difference between making your wounds your identity and learning how to carry weight without making everyone else responsible for it. When you demonstrate you can remain steady through a storm, people naturally gravitate toward that stability. They feel the presence of someone who cannot be easily shaken. The final separator is loyalty to your purpose over your mood. Feelings change with the weather or a single text message. Purpose provides a solid architecture that stays consistent. If you only act when you feel motivated, you will disappear the moment things get hard. Asking, "Do I feel like doing this today?" creates an unreliable human presence. Non-negotiable daily rituals prove to your own mind that your word has power. This internal reliability creates a grounded presence. When you aren't constantly negotiating with your own impulses, you stop leaking energy into every distraction, and that stillness is what people notice. Having that center allows you to say no. You can refuse draining people and cheap comfort without fear of rejection because you fear betraying your own purpose much more. The visible traits of attraction, looks, style, and charm, are the branches of a tree. Everyone admires the branches, but the actual strength grows beneath the surface, down in the roots. If your discipline is weak and your attention is scattered, your roots are shallow. Without that hidden foundation, surface traits are just fragile decorations waiting to fall at the first sign of wind. Real presence grows from the unseen work, the discipline, the emotional control, and the silence. When those roots are established, you no longer chase attention. Your foundation commands it.